What's up, guys? I'm Josh Mosman. Welcome to This Week in MXA, episode number 217, presented by O'Neill Racing. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Wow, what an insane week for Supercross news and our whole industry, as motocross industry as a whole. It was such a weekend of highs and lows this past weekend at the Tampa Supercross. Lows because we just lost Jorge Prado at Anaheim 2. We just lost Jett Lawrence at Glendale. And then we had Eli Tomac have that major injury during qualifying. At the time, we thought it was a bruised calf. Now we learned that it was a broken fibula. He literally raced the whole night with a broken leg. Eli Tomac is another level of insane, and I know this isn't the last of him. He doesn't want to go out on an injury, and I hope that he can heal up quickly and be back on the track soon this year, maybe midway through outdoors. I'm not sure exactly how long that'll take, but Eli Tomac is a savage. Crazy to see him race through that, but we had so many gut punches throughout the day. And then of course, all of the 250 riders that came in injured already. Chance Hymas, he had that ACL injury. He was off the bike until just days before the season started due to other health issues. So he was kind of a question mark coming in. Cameron McAdoo, the news came out the day before that he actually tore his ACL a week before the season opener. So all these different gut punches kind of coming into it that was just taking the wind out of the 2025 season, taking the wind out of our sails. But to have two guys like Max Anstie and Malcolm Stewart win, and it was really the ultimate redemption story, especially for Malcolm Stewart, and even redemption for Cameron McAdoo to end up on the podium in third place. So it was such a weekend of highs and lows. Yeah, crazy time for our sport. More hard-hitting news. Hunter Lawrence will be out for the Supercross season, for the rest of the season. Originally, we saw that crash. We thought it was a concussion. Maybe he'd be back by the next round or a couple rounds down the road after letting his brain heal, but unfortunately, it was more than just a concussion. Hunter also tore his labrum in his shoulder, and he broke the humerus bone. He got a couple breaks in the humerus bone. I have done that before. I've broken my humerus and tore the labrum in both of my shoulders, and it is no fun. Recovering from shoulder surgery is no fun. So hopefully all things go well for Hunter in his surgery and he's able to get back up to strength. They say it's about an 8 to 10 week recovery. For me, it took a little bit longer than that, and so I don't expect him to be on the round at Paula in May, but if he did, that'd be very impressive. Also on the injured list, Daxton Bennick. Wow, crazy. He finished second at Tampa last weekend, was doing so well. His second podium in just his second year of racing Supercross, and unfortunately he crashed during a practice day this week, got a concussion, and he will miss this weekend's Detroit Supercross. So concussion, hopefully it isn't too bad and he'll be able to race in the coming weeks after Detroit, but he will definitely be missing this round, which will put a huge damper on his championship. Adding to the drama, of course, was Ken Roczen going down with lappers midway through the race. Such a heartbreaker to see his race get taken away by the lappers. He'd had such a strong run going this season, and that crash really took more wind out of the sails and just really made us question what's going on with our series right now. Obviously, not really anybody's fault. The lappers, of course, were racing for position, but also navigating a sand section. Sand is completely unreliable, untrustworthy. It's so hard to pick a line and stick to it in the sand. I mean, all riders, even the best in the world, are going zigzag through the sand section. And for Jeremy Hand and Tristan Lane, they were kind of wrong place, wrong time. I feel for them because I was once a lap rider in 2018 when I raced Supercross. So I don't want to be too hard on them. Of course, when the blue flag is out, it would be nice if lap riders pull off the track, but like I said, I understand the other side of the story because I was the lap rider for those races. So yeah, and I also raced Tampa Supercross in 2018, and that had the same rhythm section of sand, and I know how hard it was to go through there and stay straight. So really a difficult section and a tough break for Ken Roczen. Thankfully, he wasn't injured in that. That's the only thing that could have made that one worse. With that points shakeup, it does really hurt Ken Roczen's championship, but he's only 18 points down, and surprisingly, he's only 4th in the championship. Of course, Eli Tomac, he is 21 points back after his tough night. Of course, he's out of the championship now. Anderson, he moved up to 3rd in the championship. He's got 84 points to Chase Sexton's 101. And Cooper Webb, he is 5 points behind Chase Sexton. So I wanted to be hard on Chase Sexton after he went down in the whoops. He did obviously lost even more positions. I thought for sure he'd hang on for 2nd, but he did have a front brake lever that was sticking straight up in the air, and he had problems with his throttle. So it seemed like the smart move for Chase not to risk it anymore and hold on for, I believe, a 5th place finish in the main event. Yep, 5th place for Chase Sexton. So he still retains the red plate and the points lead, but you gotta imagine it's pretty hard to go blasting through the whoops if your throttle isn't working properly and if you got no front brake. It is so hard to stop coming into one of those Supercross berms without a front brake. So for him, doubling to the whoops, lost him the main event, but it did at least salvage his championship and kept from getting even worse, maybe going down and maybe getting hurt. So Chase thankfully finished 5th place and keeps the red plate going into Detroit this weekend. Diving a little bit more into Malcolm Stewart's win, Malcolm is one of only 3 Floridians to win a Supercross main event in the 450 class. It's kind of hard to think about because there's so many riders now that live in Florida, all the top pros, and most of the factory riders, they live in Florida and they call Claremont or Tallahassee, Florida home. But Malcolm is one of the only true Florida natives born in Florida to win a 450 main event. His brother did it, Ricky Carmichael did it, but the rest of them are all Florida transplants, people that have moved from other places to Florida. So congratulations to Malcolm. He had 109 starts before winning his first 450 main event. The only other rider with more starts before a win was Justin Brayton. So Justin Brayton still holds that record. Malcolm Stewart there. Andrew Short is behind him. He had 88 starts before winning a 450 main. Aaron Plessinger had 68 starts, and Jeff Emig had 66 starts before winning a Premier Class main event. Malcolm's stats, he has 109 races before this. 68 of those races he was in the top 10. 22 of those races he was in the top 5. He's only had 5 podiums and now he has 1 win to his name. So congratulations, Malcolm Stewart. Awesome to see. I think everybody was happy for him, and it's just one of those feel-good situations, just like Aaron Plessinger last year. Now we have another race winner on the track, and I'm excited to see how he carries that momentum into Detroit this weekend. The 250 class was another main event of question marks and feel-good stories. It was just so wild to see Levi Kitchen, Tom Vial, and RJ Hampshire not battling at the front of the pack. Those are the 3 clear front runners coming into this one. Levi Kitchen didn't win the championship last year, but was battling to the last lap with RJ Hampshire at the season finale. Tom Vial, he did end up 18th at the season opener last year, and he went on to win the championship. So that does tell me that there's still hope for these guys. Tom did finish 5th in the main event at Tampa. Levi had that crash and bad start, and he was further back. And RJ Hampshire, of course, got caught on that tough block. So tough luck for those 3 guys, but man, awesome feel-good story for Max Anstie, and he's the main event winner of the Tampa Supercross. But obviously a big feel-good story for Max Anstie. 31 years old. He's got a new second life in his career, maybe even feels like a third life on his career. I mean, this guy's just rebuilt his career multiple times, and from MXGP back to Supercross, switching through multiple teams, now with Star Racing Yamaha. He's got another win, and he is he's riding this wave pretty strong. He's winning at Tampa Supercross. He's got the points lead in the red plate. Pretty impressive. Also super impressive for Daxton Bennett, 2nd place in his 2nd year of racing Supercross. So great for him. And Cameron McAdoo, another huge feel-good story. Yes, he has a torn ACL. Yes, it's going to be hard for him to continue, but he was on the podium at the first round. Speaking of Detroit, things are going to be very different at the Detroit Supercross this weekend. We have an indoor stadium, and it's going to be extremely cold in Michigan this weekend. It says 33 degrees on the forecast with snow in the area this weekend. So very different from a warm, hot Tampa Supercross this past weekend. The track does look fairly simple. It looks simple on paper. It's always tougher when you get there, but the track conditions from last year did have some slippery sections and kind of hard pack sections, but also the jumps had a lot of ruts in them. The corners had some good ruts in them. Another sand section this weekend. It's a sand sweeper, and sand, man. Sand is the great equalizer in Supercross, so hopefully things go smoothly there. Yep, it's a daytime race, so very different this weekend. Free practice is going to start at 8 a.m. Race day live for qualifying will start at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. So if you're in California, you're watching qualifying, you're gonna have to get up early on Saturday. Racing starts at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific time on Saturday. So daytime race, gonna be a little bit earlier. Right-handed first turn, again, this one did not work out well for Ken Roczen in that heat race, getting caught up with Mitchell Oldenburg. Very difficult getting a right-hand first turn where you have your inside foot out. It's not able to be on the rear brake, so things get a little bit technical and tough in there. Also, MXA Fantasy League this weekend, we're giving away a $500 shopping spree to Roost MX. Roost MX Graphics has been getting a couple of our project bikes dialed in. They sponsored our 250 shootout last year. So we're stoked to have Roczen sponsoring the MXA Fantasy League app this weekend. Also, Onyx Off-Road has a code MXA20 to Onyx Off-Road to get all kinds of maps to all the off-road truck trails, all their off-road dirt bike trails, UTV trails. So we're thankful for Onyx Off-Road sponsoring the MXA Fantasy League app for 2025, and thankful for Roczen for sponsoring it this weekend with our prize. So $500 worth of graphics. I think you can win. You can really freshen your bike up, or maybe a couple bikes up with that. Roost also sells clothes, and they do all kinds of different merchandise. Also, the KTM Junior League is back for this round at Detroit, and we're giving away a $500 shopping spree to Nihilo Concepts. So free to play, free to download the MXA app for Supercross, but it's also free to download KTM Junior SX Fantasy League presented by Ford Lightning, the Ford Lightning electric truck, sponsoring the electric KTM Junior Challenge. It's kind of an electric partnership there, and we help them with the app. So free to download, free to play, and you can win $500 to Nihilo this weekend. So be sure to check out those two apps. Also check out our recent video we just posted, 2025 YZ85 versus 2025 Honda CRF 150. Most people don't even know that the Honda 150 is still in production, but it is still in production. They're still selling 2025 models, and I see quite a few of them at the track lately, especially now that I'm paying more attention to it. So we had some fun with the mini bike test riders doing that. Check it out on our website and YouTube channel. More testing in the works. We got the Beta 450 RX model, the new Motocross 2025 model we've been riding. We got the new Rockstar Edition Husqvarna FC 450. I just raced this past weekend on our Honda CRF 450 Works Edition. So lots of stuff in the works. Good times. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.